According to the Geneva Convention, indiscriminate attacks are not allowed. Indiscriminate. If there is no clearly defined specific military objective, or if there are methods or means of combat that cannot be directed at a specific military target, or use of weapons or tactics that have effects that cannot be limited as required by international law. In other words, if you don't know who the target will be, who the victim of your attack will be, you cannot legitimately, according to the Geneva Convention, use that attack. So blowing up a device, having no idea who's around, who's going to be hit by that explosion, is an indiscriminate attack, and that would be illegal under the Geneva Convention. With that said, are you ever worried that your phone will blow up if you charge it overnight?
Well, to be honest, like, devices can be dangerous in many ways. Not only blow up physically, but you can blow up intellectually, mentally.
Okay.
What goes in the device that your child has, you don't know, like, this is another type of a war that maybe you spoke about it before, that how some countries, their feeds will be very different than what shows on other countries.
Yeah, the algorithm in TikTok, which is a Chinese owned company, in China it shows the children loads of educational content, and over here it shows them nonsense. But is that because kids here like nonsense and the algorithm responds accordingly?
No.
Or is that because China are...
This is another type of war,
Okay.
like, who is going to win who? Like, even the people that behind Facebook, Instagram, you call it, like, or Snapchat, most of the people that have funded those pages are not allowing their kids to be on to have them. They're not allowed to have these apps.
Oh.
So that tells you a lot. But what tells you about a person that developed a weapon, for example, or a device, and then I don't allow my children to have it for their own safety, but I allow millions and millions to use it, or other countries to even blow it on other countries, like, how far can it go? And as you say, there's always rules about, this is not allowed, over 18, blah blah blah. But does it really apply in real life? Look how many things has been against against the law that happened in Palestine so far. Like, aids were not allowed to go in. Indiscriminate, as you said, bombing has took place in sheltered places, in schools, and so they've tried to push their luck. They've tried one thing and they said, okay, it happened, no one said anything, we were not stopped or attacked or whatever, we'll do it again, and then all the lines, before you know, all the red lines have been crossed, and then what next? I don't know. What's next?
Well, indiscriminate attack on someone else. If it could happen in Lebanon,
it can happen.
Why not elsewhere? Just to go into history a little bit, in 1946 there was a bombing of the British Embassy in Rome. That's Italy. And it was the British Embassy was bombed in Rome. The people responsible for that were the Stern Gang. The Stern Gang. I'll let you Google that one. The letter bomb campaign in 1947 details another group similarly aligned sent letter bombs to British officials. Some were intercepted, creating fear and tension. Assassination attempts on British officials in Europe. There were plots targeting British officials who were shaping foreign policy. These attacks and plots focused primarily on British targets. So British targets in the past in the 1940s, letter bombs, bombs in embassies. It's happened in Europe before. As I say, I'll let you look up the Stern Gang. And what can you call it other than a terrorist attack if it's an indiscriminate attack? How many children died, didn't they? In this recent
there has been
pager
died. And
bombing.
The upsetting, sickening thing that I saw is that some news agents, I don't want to call it indiscriminate, they don't want to call it a terrorist attack, and they're saying, oh, some children will die as a result of fighting terrorists. So if it's in your opinion that, for example, a group of people are terrorists, how do you define who is terrorist? How do you define that? By what? Your government will tell you who is terrorist and not. Like, you see a person standing here killing a family with their children.
We have to officially accept the government definition. Whoever the government tells us are terrorists, they are terrorists apparently. But what I'm showing you, how is this behaviour not terrorism?
Yeah, you tell me. And you tell me, as a person, as a human, how could you come out and justify it? You're not even living in that country. You're not even... It's not going to benefit you. Like, this is going to be something that you have said, and it's going to be... You're going to be accountable for this for the rest of your life, that you came out on the news and said, yeah, it's okay, they can die. Like, that group is terrorist. So, yeah, so what if some children are killed? Like, I don't want to compare it to Ukraine, but like, why would you have so mercy towards the Ukrainian children, not the Lebanese children, and not the Gaza children? I have to stand up and say I'm against the killing of any child, whether they were Ukrainian, whether they were Arab, Muslim, Christian, Jewish. I don't want any child to be killed out there. I don't wish to see to see their parts blowing up. One of the doctors said, I've never in my life had to take eyes out. Like, if it goes to that extreme, like, what else are you going to call terrorism acts, Like, this is just disgusting. So, I am here today. I'm lucky I'm living safely, alhamdulillah. I know my children are safe, and I try as my best to avoid them from having mobile phones near them in their bedtime or around them, and regardless whether they're gonna explode or not. But just to know that this happened in a country, it really, really questions a lot about each devices that we hold, the cars we drive. I've even heard that Tesla's cars, there is this sort of recording on the Google map of where you go, so they know all your locations and where you drive and all of that. So your car will tell everyone that needs to know where you are. Your mobile devices will listen to you and come up on your feed somehow, things that you've mentioned. Your devices, if you hold a pager somehow in Lebanon, will explode and tear your ears or eyes apart. Like, really, really, is technology here benefiting us or killing us? Tell me in the comment.